Alright, you ask. You want to see what my camera looks like? Well, my camera room is pretty good size. It's 36 by about 22, 23. Here I am setting up one end of it. Putting the background up. The main light. See that stucco area in the left hand corner? I'll show you how I use that later. Background light. One thing I want to ask you is, does my butt look big in these pants? Alright, so now we got Matilda in there. We're going to photograph her. Put a gel on there, see how that looks. And there we go. That didn't take too long. So there's the shot of Matilda with the black background without the gel, and there it is with the red gel. I think it looks pretty good, don't you? And now the nice thing about this background is so versatile because it can be dark. I can turn the background light up and make it light. It really is great. It's called Gale Winds, and I'll give you the supplier later. This is, of course, a picture of the card and covering up the best part of Lavelda with the card, but I'm going to show you later how to use that. And then there's the portrait that I did this weekend. A lady asked me if I would photograph she and her husband after church, so they came by and we did that with that setup that you just saw. Now here's the camera room coming up. You'll notice that up here is the equipment room. High key area. I've got two backgrounds set up here and one background set up there. There's that stucco area and then the lockers, and you'll see how this all works together in a second. So there we are set up with a main light and a hair light and then a kicker light coming in. That's the grid spot that a lot of times I use for a background light. Sometimes it's also used as a kicker light. And then of course there's the image of the young lady. So you can see what the kicker light does on kind of her back and along her dress. Just kind of totally gives a lot of roundness to this. There's a picture in the corner with the locker. That's my youngest son with his golf clubs. You can see how versatile that can be. And then you can do something dramatic there too. I've got this little fence unit that I bought. It was like for hanging clothes on, a display unit. And just used a very dramatic lighting on this. In the left hand corner you see the high key window area. It's just a garage door that I basically covered up with a fake window and some curtains, and so I'm able to create light. There's light behind the curtains. I'll show you that one day. But it makes a beautiful light source coming in, and do some fun stuff with that. Now here is the corner with the stucco, and I want you to look at this image. Good looking kid playing the sax. I bought the sax at a school garage sale one time. Man, it's great to have it so many times, and it's just so much fun to do. There's one shot of him. Then further, a little further back, and I want you to try to guess how I did this, because it's really kind of fun shot. I love the lighting coming down here. Very dramatic, very hard. Now this could be cropped, a lot of things. These are just straight out of the camera images. There's a color shot. Same exact thing using the leading lines of the saxophone player. But the fun part is the way this was photographed. Because look at the edge of the light where it comes from on his cheek. It's a fairly hard light. Well, that's what it is. It's a flashlight. I've got someone up there holding this 2 million candle power flashlight that I bought at Walmart for 29 bucks. And that's actually lighting this whole series right to that point. So there's a lot of things you can do. Don't think that you don't have a whole lot of lights and a lot of money, you can't do a lot of things. Now here we are with the large softbox lighting the young fella, but we need a kicker light. We need something to fill in that dark side. I don't have a reflector here, just the main light coming in. So now I'm going to use my Doug box with my flash in it, just the off-camera flash. You've got that. Don't forget about that flash. That's a good flash. So that comes in and kicks in, fills in that shadow side. Boy, that makes a huge difference. And there we are. There's the 4x6, and there's also the Doug box with my Canon 580EX2 in the light. I mean, why not? It's light, isn't it? It's flash. It works great. So I'm going to show you a series of pictures we've done at this location with a couple of shots. I mean, with this setup, there's one. Kind of having him rock back a little bit. Doing one, you can see the stucco in the background because I don't have any other lights, and there's no light spilling on there that makes that background go pretty dark. And here he is just kind of standing there, but you can see that light on his hair. You can see the light on his arm and his shoulder on the right there. that shows you what that kicker light does. It just takes the pictures to your images to a whole new level. Now here's the same fella. Now here I'm not using the flashlight, but I have a series of track lights, and there's one light just lighting that that wall back there. So that's actually just a track light. You could do that with anything. You can go get a bulb and one of those little screw-in reflectors and just point it down like that. Of course, it's incandescent, so you just have to use the incandescent setting on your camera. But look how much fun you can have with something as simple as just a light bulb. I think this was a 60 or 70 watt light bulb, just pointing down at this little kid, and I just did some pictures of him. There's kind of a backup view so you can kind of see what the whole image looks like. So I don't want to hear any more excuses. If you don't have lights, you can make lights. You can get lights. You've got to get your camera, your flash on your camera. That's a light you can use. These are just little bulbs. You can use an old flashlight. And then there's one with that little fence thing. This is a better unit cropped in, but I just wanted to show you how it was all set up. See those shadows in the background, all from a track light. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I don't know what those bumps are on his stomach. I think he must have a disease, because I don't have any bumps like that on my stomach. Alright, so here's another shot of him. Same spot. There's an old door there. He's sitting down. I've got the main light on the right-hand side. In fact, I'm using two Doug boxes in this particular situation. The one on the right is the main light. The one behind it is a kicker light. Now, the one on the left, the kicker light, I'm actually using a bulb, a fluorescent bulb, that's daylight balanced mixed with flash. So there's another thing you can do. Beautiful photograph of this young lady at that same position. So there's a lot of things you can do, and you don't have to have a ton of equipment to do this. Now, the more equipment you have, the more fun things are, because you can do so many more things. But that's a beautiful photograph with one light, just the main light. All right, so look at this image. You can see the main light coming in from the left. You also can see a kicker light on his hair. See what it does? It just adds so much roundness to the photograph. It just makes it look more real. It just takes us to the next level. I know we've worn that term out. Now here's the setup. I've got the main light, the 4x6 coming on the left, and then I'm using a kicker light, which is my grid spot that I use for a background light a lot of times. But certainly works. Look at the spot that we're at. This is just a wall I had made. I just hired a guy to come in and put some of those little fake bricks on there and fill it with concrete and stucco, and just kind of a fun thing. All right, so now here's a picture of two young ladies. I've got it's a 3-light setup. I don't think that the background light fired on this one. I've got a very black background. It's some material I got from APR. This is called soft spun, and it's a great material for doing some stuff. And I'll be posting some more images that show you how to use that. But there's a setup. I'm using a green gel in the background. It's hard to see on this particular image, but you got the main light, and you got the hair light, and then the reflector coming in. So basically, this is a 3-light setup. You can't see much of what the background light's doing. All right, here's another setup going back the way the first one. Main light, hair light, kicker light. I don't have a kicker light on this one. Now I've turned the kicker light around and using it as a background light. See behind her, a little spot of light right behind her. I just think it just adds such a nice feel to the image. And there's the final shot. Now, remember when we set this up, that main light is about a foot in front of her and about shoulder level. Now, people always ask about my equipment room. I have an equipment room right off the main light room. There's all the stuff. Man, I got more junk than you can shake a stick at. This is what happens when you do this for 35 years. You collect everything. But we teach classes out here at the Texas Photographic Workshop, and so it's great for the students because if there's anything you want to try to use, I got it. Just got it in there real organized. Try to keep it so you can find everything. That's the most important thing. But anyway, if you ever want to come out to one of our seminars, look up TexasPhotographicWorkshops.com, and you can see what's going on out there. But we got a ton of equipment and stuff. So I hope this helped. And those of you that are members of Props, I appreciate it. Those of you who are not, I'd love to have you join ProPhotogs.com. For less than 28 cents a day, you have access to over 1 million posts and a ton of photographic education. So we hope you come visit us and become a member and share and learn.